Namaskar, this is Professor Aman Agarwal from Indian Institute of Finance, and we are going live now on the program of the webinar series which we are organizing and recognizing some people now. We started this process way back on the 15th of April of organizing large number of webinars and meetings and workshops, and from there we have organized almost 100 plus webinars and workshops in the last 2 months. I'm very happy to say that our focus was to bring out the essence of life and growth, which we started with, and to bring in positivity in the environment. And beginning last week, we decided to actually organize a series of other instead of just the essence of life. And that's when we introduced these two new series called the Leaders of Growth and the Women of 21st Century, where we recognize experts and people who have been selflessly contributing to the growth of their region, their society, of humanity, and bringing in peace, prosperity, positivity in the environment, and growth. This is something which we thought we must recognize, and so we decided to honor every Friday the women of the 21st century, recognizing their contributions, one being from India and two being from the other parts of the world. So every Friday, we would be organizing this series of the women of the 21st century in terms of recognizing their contributions to the society and to humanity. And the purpose of Leaders of Growth was to induce and bring forth their perspective of life again from leaders. And here also today, when we are going to be talking to these three young ladies who have contributed extensively in their own domains, we will be looking into their perspective of life, their perspective of how they have done things, and how they are inspiration for millions across the world who look forward to them and their contributions. Before we begin our program today, I would request Ms. Alka Srivastava to kindly switch on their video. Before we begin today, I would like to give a disclaimer that the meetings are being conducted in pursuance of the Ministry of Home Affairs guidelines in conducting on Zoom meetings. And as a result, we have categorically kept the audios and videos of all participants off, except for the videos of the speakers. The rest of them will remain off throughout this series. And we will open them up towards the end when the question answer session begins. Before that, we will not be opening up the series. So we request you to kindly keep your audios and videos off. In case you switch it on, the cyber head will turn it off or may be forced to take you off the room. I will now like to begin. One more disclaimer I would like to give, that the views being presented here are personal and individual views of all of these individuals and not to be taken as the views of the institutions which each one of us represents, whether it is me or it is of the institutions being represented by my experts from across the globe. Now, I would like to go about introducing my guests first. And here I have Ms. C.C. Kohli, Katrina Kohli, who is the editor and CEO of Silk Endless, and she has actually, I met her at the World Bank annual meeting in 2017, and it has been a pleasure. We exchanged thoughts and we got connected, and we have been connected since. She has been doing a large number of other activities, a lot of social activities, a lot of other activities which she's engaged with, and we will learn from her own experiences of what she's been doing. But I have been seeing her keeping track on what all she has been doing time and now. And so in the list of panel groups which were decided by the advisory team, I did propose certain names, and I'm happy that she was chosen to be one of the winners of the Women of the 21st Century recognition, which we wanted to give from the Institute. The second guest of mine today who is being honored is Mrs. Alka Srivastava. Mrs. Alka Srivastava is the founder chairperson of the Lakshmi Bai Mahila Nagrik Cooperative Bank. It is in Europe and in the US, you call union banks. It is something what cooperative banks are in India, is similar as union banks in United States or in Europe. And she is the founder chairperson, and it's very interesting. I also met her almost about three and a half years back at a conference where I was giving the keynote address, and where she was, also gave a story of her life and which got us interested and which interacted. And then I've met her multiple times, both in Gwalior, where her bank is based, where she's heading, and here in Delhi as well. Followed by her is Ms. Katrina Kozel, if I pronounce the name rightly, Katrina. Katrina is from Hungary, and she is the director of and partner of, just a second. Yeah, she is the director and partner of Hubs, which is an organization which is engaged with creating products for the banking industry and connecting the MSMEs, and in terms of accounting, in terms of business linkage, in terms of the easing the facilities which MSMEs can do, provided at a platform of banks. And I met her only this year, beginning at a forum called Banking Frontiers, where I have been one of the co-founders in terms of creating the idea, and then also been on the jury for the last 11 years. It was a pleasure meeting all the three of you and being impressed with the kind of contributions you are trying to make in your own way. Now I will go one by one to each one of you, and I'm happy that Alka ji is also joined. As I said, I will be unmuting all the three of you, and then we will go one by one to each one of you. Before I begin, I would request all of you, please to enlighten us about your journey of life before personally, and both personally and professionally. How have you grown from the very childhood, and what made you, motivated you to go and start contributing the way you are? So I'll go with CC first from US, who has joined us in the early morning, and then I will go to Alka ji, and then to Kathleen going forward from there. So I will mute first both of you as of now, and then I'll go to CC. Please go ahead, CC. I would like you to kindly express your views on your journey of life, on your contribution to the society.
Okay, awesome. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I am just so delighted to be amongst the esteemed women of 21st century. Congratulations, Alka, and congratulations, Kathleen. It's an honor to be here with you this morning. And also want to thank Dr. Aman and the Indian Institute of Finance for this wonderful opportunity that I have been bestowed today. So my name is Carlitha CC Cole. I'm the publisher, editor, and founder of Silk Undress, Lifestyle of the Lady CEO, International Women's Medium Forum. It's an innovative platform advancing the status of women and girls all around the globe, empowering women to be leaders and change agents. I'm also a licensed realtor with Long & Foster. I'm offering state-of-art real estate concierge services. When we started Silk Undress, we wanted to have a multi-digital platform for executive women who advocate for gender equality, inclusion, and diversity. We had a vision of creating a world without borders and connecting women to power. And what does that look like? It looks like creating a world of opportunities where we can help women reach just amazing leadership capacities in the C-suite, in the political arena, or doing all of this through wonderful, amazing collaborative marketing and networking with each other, and eclectic media and financial literacy. And so I think the question was, what really started this journey, and how did I get to where I am? That's a very interesting question. When I would say, oh my God, I can go back to high school. I always knew that I wanted to do something. I'm from New York originally, so I always knew I would do something on Wall Street or something in the executive suite. I always saw myself there. And so I began to just look at and model CEOs that I thought were just, I don't know, that really stuck out to me. And I remember reading an article in Essence magazine, and it was an article by Susan Taylor. I don't know what struck me by the article, but it was in the spirit, and it was something that really struck me about it. And I started reading those magazines, and I knew that I wanted to do something with publishing or something about telling women's stories. I wasn't really sure what that was going to look like. And so that is the premise and the nucleus of how we began with Silk Undressed, just have an opportunity to give women space to tell their stories and just create that platform where we can connect women all around the world. And so I've always been a strong advocate for women from all walks of life. And I believe that was really started me working within communities with women that needed help to get to the next level.
Thank you, Cici, for that brief introduction of your light journey and how you began and the kind of good work which you are doing in terms of taking the contribution of women across and recognizing them and motivating them. I know the way you motivate you. When we connected in the evening at the World Bank meeting, it was such an amazing thing, and the way you motivated was very encouraging for me when I saw. I would now like to go to Alka ji, and I would request if she can, unmute herself and enlighten us. And I understand that she wanted and expressed her views that she would like to speak in Hindi. So I would not mind. You are most welcome if you can speak a few words in English. She speaks English very well, but she wanted to speak in her national language. And so I said, no problem at all. I cannot define it. Although I would not like Kathleen to speak in Hungary because I don't know Hungarian at all. That's where the problem comes, and I don't understand it all. But if you want to say a few words, Kathleen, in Hungarian, you are welcome to say so as well. But Alka ji, I will come to you. जो मैंने आपसे कहा था, as I said, the question to Cici, हमें अपनी जर्नी के बारे में, अपनी जो आपकी लाइफ हिस्ट्री रही, कैसे आप कहाँ की, कैसे किया, कैसे बढ़ी, कहाँ बढ़ी. The question which I have asked her again is the same, is to enlighten us about her journey of life, both personally and professionally. कि professionally और personally कैसे grow करी हैं, थोड़ा हमें enlighten करें और जो आपने contributions किया थोड़ा सा बताएं.
Thank you, Aman ji and all team. इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ फाइनेंस ने जो आज मुझे मौका दिया कि मैं इतने इंटरनेशनल लेवल पर और अपने नेशनल लेवल पर इतने लोगों से वेबिनार के थ्रू मिल रही हूँ, ये बहुत अच्छी बात है कि हम लॉकडाउन के टाइम में कम से कम अपने आप का आपके बारे में और इतने इंस्टीट्यूट और इतनी सारी बातों के बारे में एक दूसरे से डिस्कस कर पा रहे हैं. ये एक हम लोगों के लिए बहुत अच्छी बात है. मैं यही कहूँगी कि व्यक्तिगत और व्यवहारिक रूप से जो आपने मुझसे पूछा, तो मैं यही कहूँगी कि बचपन से ही मतलब मेरे साथ भी यही हुआ है कि मेरे माँ बाप मेरे साथ नहीं थे और मैं अपने आप को अपनी बड़ी बहनों के बीच में मैंने पाया और उनके बीच में रहकर पढ़ाई की तथा अपना बचपन अपना बिताया. और जहाँ मेरे भाई बहन ही थे और कोई नहीं था, मैं तो निश्चित ही इन परिस्थितियों में अपने आप को मैंने पाया और इन परिस्थितियों को ही जिया जहाँ आज़ादी और फ्रीडम उस समय नहीं थी, क्योंकि माँ बाप होते हैं बात अलग होती है और आगे अन्य बात अलग होती है. ये ईश्वर का ही एक मेरी पूरी जिंदगी पर लंबा लेखा जोखा है, इसमें कि ये मेरे भाग में लिखा हुआ था कि मुझे किन परिस्थितियों में जीना चाहिए और मैं आग से तपी हुई सोना बनने की कोशिश में उस राह पर चली थी, क्योंकि नहीं मालूम था कि आने वाले पूरे मेरे जीवन के भविष्य में कितने उतार चढ़ाव आएंगे और जीना और इसी उस उतार चढ़ाव के बीच में मैंने जीना सीखा. सबकी सेवा की, सबकी मदद की, सबके आंसू देखे, दर्द देखे, पीड़ा देखी और ज्वाला बनकर मैं उस बीच में अपने आप को मैंने मन में अपने सोचा कि ज्वाला भड़की कि मुझे इनकी पीड़ा को समझना है और जो मैंने देखा उसको मैंने सहा और उसी को मैंने अपने अंदर व्यक्तित्व में उतार लिया. और शादी के बाद भी बहुत अच्छी तो नहीं रही कि मैं ये सोचूं कि ससुराल में भी कुछ ऐसी परिस्थितियां नहीं जहाँ मुझे फिर से अग्नि परीक्षा से गुजरना पड़ा, क्योंकि मेरी 35 वर्ष की उम्र तक मेरा एकमात्र पुत्र और मेरे हस्बैंड की डेथ हो गई और वो छोड़कर चले गए और साथ में 2 बेटियां छोटी छोटी मेरी जिम्मेदारी मेरी आज मेरी जिंदगी में सिमट कर रही. मैं यूँ कहूँ तो इतना सब कुछ परिवार समाज और इस जगत में मुझे इन सब परिस्थितियों में एक ऐसी नारी शक्ति को मेरे को जन्म दिया, जहाँ बस एक ही बात थी, लड़कियों की, महिलाओं की, ऐसे लोगों की जो जीवन यापन में उदास है, के लिए कुछ करने की, मिटने की शक्ति जैसे मेरे अंदर समा गई। मेरी व्यावसायिक जिंदगी की बात करूँ तो मेरी शादी संपन्न परिवार में हुई थी, और मुझे किसी भी प्रकार का लोभ मोह माया का लगाव नहीं था। बस परिवार में सभी सदस्यों की सेवा एवं प्रेम करना, क्योंकि प्यार ही की मैं भूखी थी और प्यार की तलाश में बचपन से भटक रही थी। उसी चाह में पारिवारिक जीवन और उसके साथ मैंने अपने आप को सिमटा पाया, और मन में उस पीड़ा को जन्म दिया कि महिलाओं और लड़कियों की आर्थिक स्थिति के कारण जो दुर्दशा होती है समाज और परिवार में, वो सर उठाकर नहीं जी सकती हैं और प्रताड़ना सहती रहती हैं। और उस पीड़ा ने मेरे दिल में और मुझ में यह राह दिखाई कि आत्मनिर्भर जीवन कैसे जिया जाता है। मुझे महिलाओं में आत्मजीवन कैसे जिया जाता है, उनके चलते मैंने अपने छोटे बच्चे और परिवार रहते हुए भी कोई परवाह नहीं की। और इसी ताकत में मैं उस समय मैंने उस स्कूल में पढ़ाया, और मतलब सब कुछ होते हुए भी, लेकिन एक था कि आत्मनिर्भर बनना है, मेरे अंदर ये एक लगन थी। तो मैंने स्कूल में पढ़ाया, नमकीन का कारखाना खोला जिसमें सिर्फ महिलाएं काम करती थी, और काफी बड़ा कारखाना था जिसमें बड़े बड़े कढ़ावों में काम होता था, और वो महिलाएं करती थी, पैकेट्स बनाती थी, और बहुत प्रसिद्ध हुआ वो। लेकिन कुछ मेरी बीमारी के कारण मेरा एक सर्जरी हुई, जिसके कारण मैं उसको ज्यादा लंबे समय तक नहीं चला सकी, क्योंकि और कोई मेरा सपोर्ट नहीं था, तो वो भी बंद हुआ। मैंने एक बुटीक खोला, वो बुटीक इतना फेमस था लड़कियों के लिए कि मैं कहाँ से माल ला करके उसको बुटीक को मैं चलाती थी कि फैब्रिक शॉप हो गई लड़कियों के लिए और महिलाओं के लिए। और इसी में मैंने फैब्रिक बन गई। कुछ परिस्थितियां, बस मैं स्वयं भी लंबी बीमारी के कारण इसमें रही, इसलिए ये सब हो गया। नमकीन मार्केट में भी नाम कमाया, और उसके बाद ट्रैवल एजेंसी चलाई, और उसके बाद फिर ये सब करते करते मैंने सोचा कि कुछ क्यों ना एक भंडार खोला जाए, जो सरकारी भंडार होता है वो खोला जाए। तो उसकी तलाश में जब मैं कोऑपरेटिव विभाग में गई, तो मुझे वहां मालूम हुआ कि एक महिला बैंक, एक प्रोजेक्ट पड़ा हुआ है जो लंबे समय से है, और बहुत ही उसमें समस्या है, वो कोई खोल नहीं पाया है। तो मैंने बस बीड़ा उठाया कि अगर ऐसा है तो मैं जो काम कोई नहीं कर पाया है वो काम मुझे करना है, और मैंने उसको अपने हाथ में ले लिया। और उसको मैंने जो है एक जो नियम था कि मेरे को 3 महीने के अंदर उस बैंक को एस्टेब्लिश करना था और रजिस्ट्रेशन कराना था आरबीआई से। तो मैं बहुत कठिन एक एक घर में जाकर, और मैंने सदस्य बनाए, और जो मेरे को 20 लाख रुपया इकट्ठा करना था एक शहर से, बिना किसी ना मेरे पास कोई जगह थी, ना मेरे पास कोई ऐसा साधन था जहां मैं ये कहूँ कि मैं बैंक खोल रही हूँ क्या है, लेकिन बस लग गई। और मैंने उसको मैंने बनाया, और मैंने तीन महीनों के अंदर वो 20 लाख रुपया इकट्ठा किया अपने शहर से, जहां मुझे विश्वास मिला उन लोगों का। और बहुत उससे मैंने उस बैंक को एस्टेब्लिश किया, जिसमें कि ये लगा कि हाँ मैंने कुछ महिलाओं के लिए करके दिखाया है, खोला जाए तो। लेकिन ये है कि असंभव को संभव करना ही मेरा संकल्प था, जिसको मैं सोच लूं वह मुश्किल काम करके ही रहती हूँ। और लक्ष्मीबाई महिला नागरिक सहकारी बैंक को मैंने स्थापित किया, और जहाँ पर आर्थिक जो महिलाएं हैं उनकी आर्थिक स्थिति और को मजबूत करने के लिए लोन दिया जाता है। आज हजारों की तादाद में महिलाएं इस बैंक से लोन लेकर अपने आप को आत्मनिर्भर बना रही हैं, और वो एक शक्ति के साथ अपने परिवार में सीना तान के और समाज में सीना तान के जी सकती हैं कि आज उनके पास कुछ है। एक उदाहरण के तौर पर कहूँ तो देखिए, आज एक महिला जब अपने ससुराल में रहती है और परिवार के बीच में रहती है, तो उसका कुछ अस्तित्व तो नहीं होता है। कहते हैं कि अगर उसके पति की डेथ हो गई या कोई हादसा हो गया तो लोग निकाल देते हैं कि है क्या इसका, लेकिन आज उसके नाम मकान है, आज उसके नाम गाड़ी है, आज उसके नाम परिवार में जो भी कुछ लिया है, आज उस लोन के द्वारा उसने जो पाया है, आज किसी की शक्ति नहीं है कि ऐसी महिला को कोई निकाल के बात कर दे। तो ये मैंने सामाजिक तौर से इसको मैंने मजबूर किया, और इस बैंक के थ्रू मैंने बहुत महिलाओं को ये रोजगार दिया, काम दिया और उनको आत्मनिर्भर बनाया।
Thank you, Alka ji. Let me just brief everybody what she said in just a few lines. I can't give the whole expression. She had emotionally presented her contributions. You know,
Okay.
she is simply the founder, chairman of Women's Bank, cooperative bank, as I said, of a union, which actually gives loans and facilitate functionality of women in the country. And she is out of a city called Gwalior, a state called Madhya Pradesh in India. And she, at a very young age of hers, when she had two daughters, her husband unfortunately died, and so she was left all alone. She had no experience per se. She was not a working woman. She was a homemaker, a stay-home mom, as they say in the United States. And she then began, and she set up an industry, but then some health problems, and this industry was set up only with women working in this industry. Later on, she had health problems. As a result, she had to stop that industry. And then she went forward in creating various other entrepreneurial businesses, one after the other, with the help of women and sustaining women. And she built her two daughters who have grown and are successful women in herself. And then she wanted to do something to even promote further. And all this she did while she had these two young daughters who had to be taken care of and built up. Coming from a very small middle class family, not from a very rich and influential family, but a family which supported her, a family which appreciated her idea. And then she wanted to actually go forward and contribute further. And then she went in to look for a facility where she could go about financing. And then she came to know of a micro bank, more like a cooperative bank, which is an association of people who comes and creates a bank. And then she was told that she has 3 months to raise 1 lakh rupees, that is 100,000 rupees each from every individual. And she had to collect it from different people. And she was able to collect about 20 lakh rupees, that's about 2 million rupees to be collected and deposited within the 3 months. And then she went from house to house in her neighborhood and her known people. And she was able to motivate women to come forward, to contribute, to set up this bank. And then finally, the journey began. She set up this bank, and it has been, I have had the fortune of visiting her home, of having lunch with her, prepared by her own hands, and also having, visited her bank, the way she created it, the way motivated staff, both men and women work there, but more women and less men, but both men and women work there. But this bank, as I said, is primarily, and the name of the bank comes from one of the old, very strong leaders who I revere and always remember, called Lakshmi Bai. She was a princess who raised the first independence movement way back in the 1850s against the Britishers. And at that time, there is no history evidence where they said, how can a woman raise a war? And she was the first woman to raise a war, collecting all kings from all over with her to take her forward, to take the independence movement of India. And her bank's name comes with her name called Lakshmi Bai, because I feel that is a strength for most Indian women which comes from here. So that is, in brief, not very appropriate, but just in brief of what I understood. But she had difficult time to take it up. But her cause, her interest for women and empowering women has been there from the very beginning. And she wanted females to take loan, to take finances, to empower themselves, so that they could do businesses, they could do other activities, not be dependent on only home like the way she was. And she was left at no edges when her husband left, did not know what to do, at a crossroad, which was so difficult. So this is what in brief, what she said. I will now go to Kathleen. Kathleen, if you can kindly unmute yourself. And I would now request you if you can enlighten us on your journey of life, both personally and professionally. You have to unmute yourself, Kathleen. We're not able to hear you.
I cannot now. Okay, now I can. Okay, so hello everyone. I am really grateful to be here, to be with you and featuring this webinar together with you. It's so delightful to be among women with different backgrounds and from different countries. So it's just, absolutely great. So I very much welcome your initiation, Aman. Then a couple of words in Hungarian. So, üdvözlök mindenkit, nagyon örülök, hogy itt lehetek, which means that hello everyone, I'm very happy to be here. So this was the Hungarian part, and then I'm switching to English. just a couple of words about Hungary, because I'm not sure whether everyone is familiar with Hungarian, context and history. So Hungary is a fairly small country with 10 million people in Central Eastern Europe. Hungary was part of the Soviet bloc, and there was a transition in 1990. Hungary is the member of the European Union since 2004. So that's the context I was born and I grew up and I'm living in. So yeah, that's the basic concept. I was born in a small village or small town, 60 kilometers from Budapest, which is the capital of Hungary. And I think decisive part or major factor was that it was a town or village for agricultural people. So everyone was hardworking. You couldn't see people who were not working, basically. So basically working was the, basic principle of society and life there. And I think it gave a push that, I am also a hardworking person, and I think that's a big part how I got here. The other thing is that I was very lucky throughout my life, because from the beginning and throughout my education, no one actually told me not to do anything because I was a girl. So I think this should be the way how girls are raised. Even Hungary is still a male-dominated society and a traditional society, but somehow I was lucky not to be raised up that way, like a very traditional way. So I think this is the principle that everyone should follow, that not to tell a small girl or a little girl anything that she shouldn't do just because she is a girl. And then I think this is the way that, you can do whatever you want as a person, irrespective whether you are a woman or a man. So this is my word, and these are my principles today, when I am not very talking about, how women should be discriminated positively, because I think that this issue should not even exist in the ideal world. At the age of 14, I went to a dual language school, which was kind of a unique thing back then in Hungary, where the education was in English and in Hungarian. And thanks to this, I can speak today now here together with you in English. So I think that was also a major decisive factor that where I am now, because that was an Anglo-Saxon school with a liberal education, which was very decisive between the age of 14 and 19. And then I went to university in Budapest, where I was the member of a special college called Rajk László College, which had extracurricular activities. It was like 80 people living together, like partying, but also doing a lot of professional stuff on business and economy, where we took extra courses. We had a kind of a very democratic society, creating our own world, how we wanted to live during university. And then I started working. I worked for a Hungarian private equity, and then in banking, and then corporate finance, and then I went to work for the Hungarian government, and then a small insurance company. And then that last job was so bad that I decided to quit and do my own stuff. And since like almost 7 years, I did freelance consulting and participated in different startup projects, because Hungary is a very small country. You need to find those people and those projects that can be disseminated throughout the world or in the world. And I just was part of a lot of startup projects, and I ended up with doing Partner Hub and Charlie India. And the decisive factor why I'm doing it and why I'm doing it with this team is my co-founder partner and how we get on with each other. So that's the thing, and that's how I managed to go to India, and this was a big motivation for me, I think, to become an entrepreneur. That I am kind of a very independent person, and I wanted to set my own agenda. I didn't like other people setting my agenda. So even if it's very hard and a lot of suffering, I chose this way. And that's how I managed to go to India for the first time in my life last November, and then this February. So, and that's how we met with Aman there.
Sorry, I was saying now I'll go to CC, and CC, you have been an innovator, you have been an entrepreneur, and have enlightened so many souls. You know, from your social work, which you have been doing, journalistic activities, which you have been doing, other charitable activities, especially the ones which you have been doing for the women folks. We would appreciate if you can kindly throw some light in brief about the contributions and the success path you have been able to achieve, especially in terms of bringing happiness to people whom you have, you know, brought up and built upon. Yes, CC. Please unmute yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so very much. I am so inspired by the stories of the women that are with us today on this panel. Just the stories of, I hear strength and courage and determination and resilience and all of that you've been through. And that's why I'm so happy about some of the things that we do in terms of women's stories, how they really just connect us all together. I really believe that our stories are not our own, right? They really don't belong to us. Our stories are the nucleus that connect women together. And this is the power that we share. So just was really inspired by the stories that I heard today. I'm a native of New York, and I grew up with a very strong mother that was a single mother. And I had a very interesting dad from the islands, and he taught me a lot about resilience, and so did my mom. And I was raised by, I was the youngest, and I had two older brothers, and there was nothing I felt that I couldn't do as a young girl. And I was so empowered, and I was actually forcefully motivated to be as tough as my brothers, because other than that, it became an issue of quality of survival, being the youngest, the brat in the family, and a girl. So I had to find a way to keep up with my brothers. And although they treated me as a princess, there were still things that they wanted me to do. So I wouldn't say that, oh, I'm a girl and I couldn't do it. So I was forced to have that strength from a young age. And I felt that parity within my own household. And seeing my mom work as a single mother and put us through private school, the sacrifices that she made really formulated my view and perspective on life and who I am today. When I think about the things that I want to do in my life and how I decide to give back to society and back to young women, it's because I've been there, and I had some very challenging times coming up, but also I had the other side where I saw nothing but strength around me and determination. And so I was able to take those experiences that I had as a child and as a teenager, and to find organizations that I can partner with so that I can give back and to give those young ladies within the communities around me another outlook. Because unfortunately, a lot of times is that young ladies and kids in general, you know, they're just a product of their environment. And so it was an opportunity to give them something that, some type of diversity in terms of how to see the world through different kinds of lens. And so I was really honored to be able to just really partner with great organizations such as Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, some ballet organizations. They all have like community affairs programs attached to them. I was really honored to serve as the immediate past president for U.S. National Committee for UN Women to advocate for the eradication of violence against women and girls. I was an ambassador for Save the Children and Women for Women International. I love to partner with international and global organizations to promote young emerging leaders, particularly former President Barack Obama's program that he started was the Mandela Washington Fellowship for Young African Leaders. It was a fantastic program. Legacy International, Model UN, where we just mentor young women around the world and to give them opportunity to see themselves in leadership capacity and to just build peaceful institutions in the areas where they live, work, and play. We try to associate and attach some of the UN frameworks to our works to help guide our global platform as it relates to empowering women. We work on Sustainable Development Goals 4, 5, and 16 for education, empowering women, and building peaceful societies. And so we really work to bring the stakeholders to the table. And even in the midst of the COVID-19, we see that women are on the front line leading and getting really great success and really trying to find a way to really mitigate the impact of COVID-19. It's a crisis for women and girls to endure long-term recovery. And so we try to find ways that women can continue to fight for social protections and also try to get women that are in leadership capacities to form those networks across. If you take a look at some of the areas, if we look at New Zealand, Thailand, or Germany, around, we had really great success when leaders and women leaders are in front. And so with women, and when we help women learn and train them, we have really great success and responses. And so that has been the basis and the premise of my work, because I really believe that women have the skills and tenacity to not only to be really creative, to find really creative ways to make things happen. But when we do it together, we have phenomenal success. If you just take a look at the women that are with me here in the webinar, Alka and Caitlin, can you imagine the stories? Could you imagine if we get together and we do this together, that we can change the world one woman and one girl at a time?
Thank you, Cici. I'll now go to Alka ji. Alka ji, if you could express views, especially from the kind of charitable activities जो आप social service कर रही हैं, लोग मदद करती हैं और करती आई हैं. If you can give enlighten us about that, as an entrepreneur, you motivated people. As a guru, you have motivated people. I see you motivating your own staff constantly. If you can talk about it a little bit.
मैं ये कहूँगी, चूँकि मैंने अपने अंदर की आत्मा, मन और दिमाग में कुछ ना कुछ किसी बेसहारा, परेशान, बेहाल लोगों के पीड़ा को समझकर उनके लिए करने का बीड़ा उठाया. और क्योंकि अगर मेरे पास किसी का मार्ग सुगम, मेरी वजह से किसी का मार्ग सुगम होता है और वो आत्मनिर्भर बनती है, महिला या समाज के लोग या परिवार के लोग, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इससे बड़ा मेरा जो एक दान है, जो मैं मेरी जो एक अंदर की आत्मा का एक ये है कि मैंने किसी को कुछ दिया, वही मेरा एक गुरुत्व है. क्योंकि अगर मेरे पास किसी का मार्ग सुगम होता है और उसे सहारा मिलता है, आत्मनिर्भरता प्रबल होती है, तो मैं अपने आप को उस तराजू में तोल सकती हूँ जहाँ किसी को कुछ देने का रास्ता सुगम हो. जैसे कि मैंने एक नमकीन कारखाना डाला, ट्रैवल एजेंसी चलाई, बुटीक चलाया, शिक्षित किया लोगों को, और कहना चाहिए कि फिर एक ऐसा बैंक स्थापित किया जहाँ नागरिक विस्थापित बैंक हुआ, जहाँ रहने वाले, काम करने वाले महिलाएं हैं, आत्मनिर्भर बनाया, उन्हें योगदान देकर समाज के लिए और आर्थिक रूप से उनको इतना मजबूत संबल दिया कि वो आज किसी तरीके से अपना सीना तान कर अपने आप को स्वयं, मुझको मेरे स्वयं आर्थिक रूप से मजबूत होती हैं और निर्बलता उनकी सुगम होती है। अगर वो निर्बल नहीं रहती हैं तो इससे बड़ा एक कोई रास्ता ऐसा नहीं हो सकता जो मैं किसी को दे सकूं और मैं उनको बांट सकूं। ये मेरे लिए बहुत ही एक सुख, बहुत सुख संसार में, इससे बड़ा सुख संसार में कुछ भी नहीं है, क्योंकि आज मैं उसी संसार की ईश्वर की भेजी हुई एक, कोई ईश्वर ने जो मुझे भेजा है, एक नियामत हूं मैं, जो मैं उन लोगों के लिए कुछ कर पाई, उन लोगों के लिए मैंने कुछ किया। और मुझे बहुत संतुष्टि है इसको देखकर कि मैं आज एक ऐसे रास्ते से गुजरकर मैं स्वयं में अपने आप में उन लोगों के लिए एक रास्ता जो भटकता है लोगों का, या उनको रास्ता नहीं मिलता है, उसको देने का जो मैंने प्रयास किया, मैं अपने आप को उसमें बहुत संतुष्ट पाती हूँ और सोचती हूँ कि ये काम करते रहना चाहिए, हमको बांटते रहना चाहिए, हमें देते रहना चाहिए लोगों को, और इतना करना चाहिए कि समाज में कोई इस तरीके की स्थितियों में ना जिए जो आज प्रधानमंत्री जी कहते हैं, जो आज समाज कहता है कि आत्मनिर्भर बनो। तो आत्मनिर्भर बनाने के लिए जो बहुत मानसिक रूप से परेशान होते हैं, जिन्हें क्योंकि अपनी पारिवारिक स्थितियों से वो इतने उलझे होते हैं, उन्हें कोई रास्ता नहीं समझ में आता है, डिप्रेशन में चले जाते हैं, तो हमें उनके डिप्रेशन को निकालने के लिए, जो हम कहते हैं कि डिप्रेशन लोगों का निकालना चाहिए, उनके अंदर ये भावनाएं नहीं होना चाहिए कि वो भटक जाएं या गलत रास्ते चले जाएं, तो हम उन्हें एक सुगम रास्ता दे रहे हैं, हम उनकी आर्थिक स्थिति को अच्छा कर रहे हैं, हम उनके परिवार को, उनके लिए, उनके बच्चों के लिए अगर हम उन्हें कुछ सहारा दे रहे हैं और एक ऐसे रास्ते बताकर जहाँ की उनकी आर्थिक, क्योंकि आर्थिक स्थिति अगर मजबूत है तो सब कुछ है। एक अपने मन की जी जी, तो मैं यही कहूंगी कि यही मेरा वक्तव्य है और ये मैं मानती हूँ।
She, with her soul consciousness which grew up, she wanted to make things happen and make people independent, especially women, more independent and empowered. And she feels blessed that she has had got the occasion to do this service to humanity and to service the womankind and trying to bring and empower them. She narrated her stories of how she built up the industries and how she did other activities. And then she says one should have that giving hand. One should be able to have the power to be a giving person, to be able to give people things. And she's blessed to have been that person. She says it's important to be self-sufficient and self-reliant, like the Prime Minister India keeps talking about self-sufficiency and self-reliant. And she says that she tries to achieve that goal through her life, her objective. I'll now go to Kathleen, if you can kindly, enlighten us on your own framework, the kind of social work, the MSME enrichment you have had, your journey from work to and being an entrepreneur you have already discussed, but the way you feel inspired and the way you have been able to contribute to society, you can enlighten us.
I think the way I am contributing to society, and this is just the beginning really where we are with our company, is to provide technology, available technology to any kind of economic actor to make especially e-invoicing available to small companies through banks, so that big companies deploy our technology, use our technology, and help the small guys with very good solutions and make their life easier, basically, in terms of financial administration. And the way how we envisage is that we think in terms of cooperation rather than competition. So we want to convince banks that they should work together and they should set up networks and provide solutions in ecosystems, as it is very fashionable to say this today, but really ecosystems where data can flow and they can provide small companies solutions just like big companies, just at an available price. And we are setting up kind of a prototype network in Hungary comprising of banks, large enterprises, and accounting software providers. And this is quite of a challenge because Central Europe and especially Hungary is not famous for being or having a very cooperative culture. So it takes a lot of talking of, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 years that, okay, you should understand that this is going to be good and this will serve, not only you, but the others. So it's just trying to make people understand that cooperation pays off just as well as competition, and you don't just need to think about, okay, what is inside my fence and what is inside my house, but just to look out of the window and think about, how other people or other companies could think and what is their interest and how people can find common grounds to make life for SME companies better. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what takes up the majority of my days.
Important because MSMEs around the world are perplexed with funds, and they don't have funds and they don't have resources to build upon what you have tried to create and link banks and MSMEs. And that's what impressed me extensively when we discussed and I learned about your product. I will go to the next question, but I would like if all of you can answer that in maybe a word or two and not too long, because most of it you have explained in terms of your journey, but I wanted to know as to what is that one or two things which actually made you choose the path you have chosen in your life. So I will go to CC Kohli to what exactly motivated you to go to the path which you are leading today, just in a word or two.
Building gender equality, gender parity, and just giving women opportunity to level the playing field. As you know, that globally, women and girls experience, all types of violence, from FGM to child marriage. And so how do we provide equity platforms where they can get into leadership capacity without having their growth stumped because they are getting married at the young ages or being subjected to all types of violence. And so I think it's giving girls in developing worlds and just giving other women that have a desire or have the potential to lead, give them tools to do so. And so that really inspired me, and just having a platform where women can really tell their stories and where we can really connect globally and just make a real wide network of women to just really empower one another.
Thank you, CC. I'll now go to Alkaji. Alkaji, if you can tell us, and about what made you choose how you but what I understand. Alkaji, if you can unmute yourself.
आपने क्या कहा वो शायद कुछ डिस्टरबेंस रहा काफी. आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
If you can kindly unmute yourself. Yes.
जी आप फिर से थोड़ा सा बोले, क्या बोल रहे थे? सॉरी, क्योंकि वो आवाज चली गई उसमें. हेलो,
जी अब आप बोल सकते हैं, प्लीज बोलिए.
हाँ मैं बोलूँ, ठीक है जी. शायद आपका क्वेश्चन है कि आपने जो रास्ता चुना उसमें आपको क्या फायदा हुआ. देखिए, जो मैंने ये रास्ता चुना, या मैंने बचपन से चुना, जो मेरी हॉबी रही, वो दूसरों की मदद करना, परेशान लोगों का। अगर मैंने देख लिया कि अगर किसी ने सड़क पर किसी लड़की को, बचपन से, मतलब मैं छोटी भी रही तब से, अगर मैंने देखा कि किसी ने किसी को परेशान किया है या कर रहा है, या परिवार या सास या परिवार के लोग या सड़क के लोग या चलते समाज के लोग, तो मैं उस समय उस उम्र से भी मैं ऊपर हो जाती थी और उन लोगों की मदद करती थी। कोई लड़की अगर अपने ससुराल से नहीं आ पा रही है और माँ बोलती है कि नहीं कोई ला पा रहा है, भाई जाता है तो कोई नहीं भेजता है, या कोई भी ऐसी बातें होती थी, तो मैं बचपन से जब मैं फ्रॉक पहनती थी उस टाइम से भी मैं कहती थी मैं लेके आऊंगी आपकी बेटी को ससुराल से। और मैं जाती थी उसी शहर में, मान लो लोकल है तो, मैं क्योंकि छोटी थी बाहर तो जा नहीं सकती थी, तो मैं जाकर के उनकी सास को सबको इतना प्रभावित कर लेती थी, भजन गा के उनके हिसाब की बातें करके, उनका वो करके, और वो मेरे से इतनी प्रसन्न हो जाती थी कि वो अपनी बहू को मेरे साथ भेज देती थी। तो ये भी एक मन की बहुत बड़ी तसल्ली थी कि मतलब उन्होंने मुझे मेरे साथ भेज दिया और मैं उनकी बेटी को ले आई। इसी प्रकार से अगर कोई महिला परेशान है और मैंने उसके लिए कुछ किया, आज एक स्टेशन पर किसी की एक बच्चा मृत पड़ा है और अगर मैंने उसको ले जाकर के शमशान दाह में उसका दाह संस्कार करा दिया और वो परदेसी लोग हैं और कोई मदद नहीं कर रहा है, और मैंने उनके लिए अगर कुछ कर दिया और मैंने सरकार से, पुलिस से, रेलवे विभाग से टक्कर लेके और मैंने उसका दाह संस्कार, उस परिवार को सुरक्षित उसके घर तक पहुंचवा दिया, खाना दानी दे दिया, तो इससे बड़ा मेरे लिए पूजा पाठ यज्ञ कुछ भी नहीं है। जो मुझे मिला वो मैं जानती हूँ कि मैंने जो पूजा की है, जो मैंने यज्ञ किया है, जो मैंने लोगों की मदद की है, वो मेरे लिए सफिशिएंट है। और मैंने उसमें बहुत अपने आप को तसल्ली पाई है। मैंने पाया है कि मैं लोगों से यही कहती हूँ कि मेरे मतलब पूजा क्या है, अगर मेरे को समय मिल रहा है तो मैं अपने आप से क्या कर सकती हूँ लोगों के लिए, वो मुझे करना चाहिए। मैं जो वही मेरा सोच था, और इसको पाकर जो लोगों के मुंह से निकलता था कि आपने जो किया है मैडम आपको नहीं मालूम आपने हमारे लिए क्या किया है, तो और मुझे क्या चाहिए इससे बढ़कर, मैं समझती हूँ मेरे लिए संपूर्ण है।
True. Thank you. Alka ji talked about the way she felt from the very childhood about contributing and helping people, and that's what motivated her to go on to all these activities while she was married, and then when she started a journey after the death of her husband. And that's what she said, in trying to help people, trying to motivate them. And I've seen her; she's never sitting idle. She keeps moving here and there. Even while within the country, she is hopping around from one state to the other, doing some activity or the other. She's on the move all the time, like I've seen Cici as well as Kathleen doing it. So now I'll go to Kathleen. If you can also, maybe a word or two, if you can highlight what made you choose the path you are in. If you can unmute yourself, Kathleen, please.
Yes, so I think I already mentioned that that I wanted to create something, and I wanted to create my own world as well. And having started that, I made a decision, and now I need to stick to that decision. So, you need to keep up.
Thank you. I will now go to Cici again. And Cici, I will join two of my questions together now because we are paucity of time. We have another 5-7 minutes. And I would like to close within a span of 10-15 minutes time from now. How do you go about celebrating life? And who all would you like to recognize in your life who have contributed to your journey of life? So if you could identify those people in your journey of life, and how do you celebrate life? These two things, if you can answer for now.
How do I celebrate life? Oh my goodness. Every day I wake up, I'm just really grateful. The moment I can open my eyelids and I can move my hands and I can move my toes, I know that it's a really great day and that the rest is really up to me. And so I just really try to be grateful and thankful for every single day. Time is so short now. We look around us, there's so many uncertainties in life, and we just have to really wake up every day and put our best foot forward because we don't know what tomorrow holds. And I think that I celebrate life just by being grateful and just being thankful and taking the opportunity of every moment that I have, because you don't know what tomorrow will hold. And I also think that I celebrate life by, I'm a big proponent, and I know I talk about helping women all the time, but that's just who we are. I celebrate life by trying to help, close the gender equality gaps, trying to close gaps and try to help women fill positions on boards and get into C-suites and to be more in a leadership capacity in Fortune 500 companies. I celebrate life in knowing that I can help another young lady within the communities have a dream realized. I celebrate life when I go out on the streets and I can feed the homeless. To me, that's life. And I think that the less I think about myself and the more I think about others, I feel that that's where I get my rewards. And I can also say that I celebrate life and just making sure that I can be that vessel, that connector, where it's not about me, but it is about you and the next person. It's about our supporters. It's about curating content that women around the globe will read and that needs to change their life. It's about providing avenues and leverage and bringing stakeholders to the table where we can really amass our resources together and do it from the grassroots level, from the bottom up, as opposed to from the top down. How are we reaching the least among us? Because that's when we're really strong. How do we teach from early childhood? How do we give women equal access to health care? How do we close disparities as it relates to women of color? How do we close the gaps for maternal health? So I celebrate life when I know that we have opportunities to do that and to build a society where we are cohabiting and that we're independent but living collectively, because we are only stronger together and we're weaker when we're apart. So I celebrate life and making contributions to society because it fulfills my life journey, because that is my purpose here on life, is to be selfless and to build a network and a platform where we can connect together and that women can be on the front line and leading the charge.
And I would also want if you can identify who do you think contributed to your life journey? Who all would you like to recognize who have contributed to your life journey?
First and foremost, I would like to thank my mother and my grandmother. They both had very untraditional roles in life, but they taught me all about strength and resilience. They taught me how to do so much with so little. We didn't grow up rich or, with a silver spoon in my mouth. I didn't have that. But I felt like I had it. I felt like I lived in luxury all my life. It was only when I became a teenager and older that I realized that I didn't have, everything wasn't a bag of roses, but my mother raised us and my grandmother raised us with such integrity, and to be so grateful for the little that we had, that I felt that I lived, in a mansion and that the world was just my oyster, that everything was fine. And so they gave me the foundations in life. When I was younger, when I go to Florida to visit my grandmother, she taught me how to survive because I had to go out fishing. And if I didn't bait the hook and catch my fish, I was not going to have fish for dinner. She taught me how to go out in the garden to get my own vegetables. My mother taught me what it's like to have business acumen and to have work skills. She taught me about skill versus will. I can do something, but am I willing to do it? If I'm willing to do it, am I willing to do it with the best of my ability and to just be grounded? My father taught me about having strategies and to be resilient and to never give up. My father was a very tough, very docile and humble guy, but he taught me to be really humble and to walk with humility, but also be strong and firm. And so I would have to say that those three people are the pillars that I stand on today.
Thank you, Cici, for that. I would now go to Alka ji, and if Alka ji can please give her, insight on दो चीजें जो आपसे मैं पूछना चाहता था. पहली चीज थी कि ये जो आपने लाइफ है आपकी, उसको आप सेलिब्रेट कैसे करती हैं, उसका आप लुत्फ कैसे उठाती हैं. एक बाहर पार्टी करना तो एक चीज होती है, लुत्फ उठाना, एक अंदर जो संतुष्टि होती है सोल की, एक तो वो। दूसरा, आपकी लाइफ में कि आपकी जो लाइफ जर्नी रही उसमें आप किन किन लोगों को धन्यवाद करना चाहेंगे, रिकग्नाइज करना चाहेंगे कि उन्होंने आपकी लाइफ जो आपकी है, जिसको आप चेरिश कर रही हैं, उसको उसमें कंट्रीब्यूशन किया?
अमन जी, बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है जो दिल को छूता है। सच बताऊं तो जब मैं टूटी, कई दफा टूटी, और जब मुझे खड़े होने के लिए जिस समय मात्र कहना चाहिए 4 दिन भी नहीं हुए होंगे मेरी पति की, मेरे बच्चे की मृत्यु को, और मुझे एकदम निराशाओं ने घेर रखा था। उस समय भी कुछ मेरे मित्र, कुछ मेरी बेटियां, मेरी बेटी खास तौर से, और मेरे मित्र ऐसे कुछ रहे जिन्होंने मुझे खड़ा किया और ये बोला कि उठो, क्या करना है, उठो, ये काम देखो, कुछ करो। आप मतलब आप उनमें से नहीं हो, आप उन लेडी में से नहीं हो, आप उस महिला में से नहीं हो कि जो चुपचाप बैठ जाए और ऐसे नीरसता भरा जीवन अपना निकाले। आपको कुछ करना है, आप कुछ करने के लिए आई हैं यहाँ, तो क्योंकि आपके अंदर वो है जो आप कर सकती है। तो ये जब मुझे एक दिया संबल, तो मैं वाकई में मैंने कुछ समाज की सबकी तोड़कर सीमाएं उठ खड़ी हुई, और जो काम मेरे अधूरे थे मैंने वो 5वें 6ठे दिन से ही करना शुरू कर दिया। वरना तो मेरे पास, जैसे कि मान लीजिए मेरे नीचे कुछ प्रॉपर्टी का काम होना था या नीचे बढ़ना था, तो सब लेबर लगी थी, मतलब कुछ भी नहीं मिल सकता था मुझे, लेकिन मैंने वो सारा काम स्टार्ट किया, चालू किया। मेरी जो बेटी थी वो मेरे से कहती थी, मेरी फ्रेंड, मेरी दोस्त, अच्छी दोस्त, मतलब मैं जब बहुत निराश होती हूँ वो मुझे बहुत बल देती है। वो नहीं देख सकती थी मेरा कोई रूप ऐसा या मुझे रोते हुए कोई परेशानी, वो मेरे को हमेशा बड़े गुस्से में मुझे रास्ता दिखाती है। क्या है मम्मी, आप तो बहुत खुश नसीब हो जो आप खुद सेल्फ हो, आप कुछ भी कर सकती हो, आपको कोई रोकने टोकने वाला नहीं है, आप अपने रास्ते खुद चुन सकती हो। आप क्या सोचती हो, आप हो क्या, आपको मालूम है आप कितने लोगों की मदद करती हो, आप क्या हो, आपको लोग इतने ही आपके साथ जुड़ गए हैं, इतने लोग जो जुड़े हुए हैं, जो इतनी जगह से आपको मिले हुए हैं, आपके साथ एंजॉय करते हैं, क्या वो इसलिए है कि आप अपना इस तरीके से आप एक दूसरे रास्ते पर जाने का सोचती हो या निराश होती हो? आपको खुश होना चाहिए, आप बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग हो, आपको ऐसे ही जीना है। तो आज जो मेरे साथ है, मैं एंजॉय करती हूँ, मेरे साथ छोटे बच्चे भी होते हैं, मेरे साथ लड़कियां भी होती हैं, मेरी उम्र की भी नहीं है, मेरी हम उम्र भी नहीं है, अब उनके साथ मॉर्निंग वॉक करती हूँ। आज मेरा स्टाफ है वो मेरा परिवार है, मेरे बैंक का स्टाफ है वो मेरा पूरा सब मेरा जैसे मेरा परिवार है। तो यही मैं ये सोच के हंसती हूँ, कभी भी निराश नहीं होती हूँ तो उनको शेयर करती हूँ। और मैं जितना हो सकता है, जब मैं सोचती हूँ कि मैं कहीं ऐसे डिप्रेशन में जा रही हूँ, तो मैं उन लोगों के साथ इंजॉय करती हूँ, वॉकिंग करती हूँ, गाने करती हूँ, डांस करती हूँ, ड्रामे करती हूँ। मतलब कोई ऐसी चीज नहीं है जो मैं एक्टिव, मतलब अपने कुछ नहीं है तो भगवान के सामने ही, ये लॉकडाउन के टाइम है, मैंने अच्छी अच्छी भजन लगाकर या वृंदावन के भजन लगाकर अपने अकेले ही नाच के, अकेले नाच करके उनमें खोती रही, किया। तो मैं तो ये कहती हूँ कि मैं इंजॉय करती हूँ। मैं जब मैं सोचती हूँ कि मैं थोड़ा डीप में जा रही हूँ तो मैं इंजॉय करती हूँ, मैं अपने आप को भुला देना चाहती हूँ, मैं अपने आप को खोना चाहती हूँ किसमें, उन लोगों में जो मुझे प्यार करते हैं, जो मुझे इतना समय देते हैं, मेरे साथ इंजॉय करते हैं। अभी हम आ रहे हैं, हम ऐसे करेंगे, मम्मी आप रात को मेरे से बच्ची मेरे से बात करती है, मेरे साथ खेलती है, हमेशा मेरे साथ खेलती है, मैं इंजॉय करती हूँ। एक एक घंटे मेरी पोती जो है, वो नातनी जो है मेरे साथ इंजॉय करती खेलती है, अपने आप से तो लगा लीजिए 5 साल की, मैं उसके साथ इंजॉय करती हूँ, वो खेलती हूँ। मैं बच्चों में बच्चे, लड़कियों में लड़की, बड़ों में बड़े, मैं सबके साथ हम उम्र हो जाती हूँ और इंजॉय करना चाहती हूँ, इंजॉय से जीना चाहती हूँ, वरना तो समाज जीने नहीं देगा। यही मेरा
आपकी जिंदगी में किसने कंट्रीब्यूट किया जिनको आप रिकग्नाइज करना चाहेंगे?
मैं अपनी बेटी को, और हमारे मित्र हैं, पारिवारिक मित्र हैं, जिन्होंने मुझे समय समय पर योगदान दिया, मुझे खड़ा किया, मुझे रास्ते बताए, नहीं आप उठिए, मेरी तैयारियां की, मेरे को कुछ भी करने के लिए मुझे सहयोग दिया, चाहे वो मेरे परिवार का हो, चाहे मेरे स्वयं का हो, चाहे बाहर का हो, मुझे उन्होंने सहयोग दिया। मैं धन्यवाद देती हूँ कि ऐसे वक्त में ईश्वर ने उनको मेरे लिए ऐसे निश्चल और इतना ईमानदार व्यक्तित्व के धनी को मेरे साथ मुझे मिलाया, जिन्होंने निस्वार्थ होकर, कभी नहीं सोचा, निस्वार्थ होकर मेरी मदद की। मदद में मीन्स मेरी मदद मतलब मेरी मानसिक स्थिति को उन्होंने मुझे जोश दिलाया काम करने का, और मुझे एक अंदर एक पैदा किया कि आप काम करो, आप गए। मुझे रास्ते जो मुझे नहीं आता वो मैंने सीखा, और उनका सहयोग मिला, मेरी बेटी का मेरा सहयोग मिला, मेरी जो मेरी फ्रेंड्स हैं उनका, मुझे सबको मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ, जिन्होंने आज तक मुझे, आज 35 साल में मुझे मेरी जिंदगी जीने का मुझे एक रास्ता दिखाया, और मैं जी रही हूँ। मैं बहुत खुश हूँ, वरना तो रियली मैं धन्यवाद देती हूँ उन लोगों को।
आपने देखा कैसे स्ट्रॉन्ग women, the way she is very strong. She actually narrated her joys of actually getting love from everyone around. She had a son who died at a very young age of the early 20s, if I remember correctly, and she had only 2 daughters. In any case, she brought all the 3 of them up, and then she was motivated by people around who supported her and said, "You can do things." Then whenever she feels low, her daughters motivate her again and support her. And then she has had a lot of family and friends who actually motivate her. And she is blessed. And she says that for me, celebration of his life is for the love which I get from all these people, the positivity, the energy which I get, that positive energy which I get, which motivates me to go about contributing and doing my service to humanity, is something which I lived with. And that's what she actually wanted to say. And at the end, you could see yourself. She was very emotional in terms of thanking people, because I asked her, who would you like to thank? And she wanted to thank all the family members, relatives, or some friends who helped her in the beginning and have helped her in the last 35 years in a struggle of trying to serve the society and the humanity and in the women empowerment framework. So this is what in brief she said. I hope I am trying to do justice in trying to convert Hindi to English, but I'm sorry, I cannot capture the real emotions which she brought it in, because it's something which comes from within. She expressing her own feelings, and she's a very strong woman, like Lakshmi Bai, who was there according to her bank. Also the lady who actually ran the first independence movement for India. I will now go to Kathleen, if she can now, Kathleen, if you can kindly give your insight of how do you go about celebrating life, not the way Budapest does, and the way Budapest is known for celebration of life in terms of nightlife and partying, but you personally as a human, as an individual, how do you go about, and whom would you like to thank in your journey of life?
Yeah, at a young age, I was also part of the vibrant Budapest nightlife, so that was definitely celebration. Nowadays, I'm more relaxed, so I do a lot of yoga, do a lot of meditation recently, and then I spend a lot of time with those who are very close and important for me, because that's nothing you can substitute with anything. Spending time with those who you love and love you back. So basically, that's how I celebrate life. And the people and the situations that I'm grateful for are, I had a lot of inspiring teachers. I think I need to mention them. I had them throughout, at the elementary school, high school, university, and it's hard to be grateful for those, but I am kind of grateful for all the hardships that I went through, because compared to those, like work problems are just minuscule, so it's easier to solve them than the larger problems of life.
Thank you, Kathleen, for your response. And now, although we've run out of time, but I will take another 5 minutes. I would like you to actually, all of you, to actually give your message. And I will go the reverse order now. From Kathleen, I'll go to the reverse. So I would like you to, as I feel women empower, every one of us empowers. As they say, a child teaches a man. He's the father of a man. So every one of us learns from each other. And you have been your power, your persona has been influencing many a times. We know of this influence, many a times we are not aware of this influence. But what would be your message to all these women and men? I would not like to be gender here, but women and men both, who want to lead a life which is full of happiness and contributing to society and humanity. What will be your message for them and for life? So I would like to begin, as I said, I'll go the reverse order now. I'll begin with Kathleen and then go to Alka and then CC Kohli when I'll end with. So Kathleen, if you can begin with it now, as to how do you think, what would be your
my message is for women now, I think, because it's more characteristic for women to give themselves too much into things and situations and just to give themselves up. So I think it is very important for all of us to know what our needs are really and to set boundaries, even if it's very hard, because I find it myself that, I'm just trying to give too much myself into things. But in the end, you need to set borders just to make yourself happy and make others happy by this. So I think for all the girls, it's just know yourself, don't lie to yourself, and set your borders right.
Thank you. Although that message is meant as well, I would say every one of us needs to know ourselves and trying to do our best. Although, I appreciate your commitment and your feelings for women, but then I would say I think it's a more universal message which you gave. I will now go to Alka ji. Alka ji, आपका क्या message रहेगा जो आप share करना चाहेंगी, लोगों को बताना चाहेंगी, young generation को, elderly generation को क्या करें कि आपकी तरह वो प्रभावित हों, प्यारे बने और दुनिया की तरफ अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन कर सके।
मैं यही कहना चाहूंगी सभी महिलाओं से कि वो जो भी रास्ता चुने, वो उस रास्ते के बारे में सबसे पहले अपने अधिकारों का ज्ञान करें कि उनके अधिकार क्या हैं। उनके अधिकार बहुत हैं, जो हैं वो अधिकारों की धनी है और कहीं से कमजोर नहीं है। वो बिचारी नहीं है, सबला नहीं है, अबला नहीं है, वो बहुत बड़ी नारी शक्ति है और उनको नारी शक्ति के रूप में अपने अच्छे रास्ते चुनकर एक अच्छी पकड़ बनानी चाहिए, अच्छा कार्य करना चाहिए जिसमें उनका परिवार, उनके बच्चे और समाज सभी में वो अपना सर उठाकर जीने का अपना नाम कमा सके। हर महिला का नाम कहीं ना कहीं होता है, अगर वो करती है कुछ तो कहीं वो कमजोर नहीं होती है। तो इसलिए वो अपना इस तरीके का रास्ता चुने और वो उसको बनाए। दूसरी बात मैं यही कहूंगी कि वो सच्चाई के रास्ते पर चलेंगी और मेहनत के रास्ते पर चलेंगी, मेहनत करेंगी जहां उन्हें ये नहीं आभास होगा कि यह काम छोटा है या बड़ा है। काम कोई भी छोटा बड़ा नहीं है, हर काम करने में उन्हें सक्षमता होना चाहिए, आत्मसम्मलता होनी चाहिए, उनके अंदर बल होना चाहिए, शक्ति होना चाहिए और वो ये काम करें। तो जब ऐसा करेंगी तो उन कदम अपने आप सफलता उनके कदम चूमेगी और लोग उनकी पकड़ से बाहर नहीं जा पाएंगे। ये महिलाओं से मैं यही कहूंगी कि दुखों को पोस्टपोन तो नहीं कर सकते, हम अपने दुखों को पोस्टपोन तो नहीं कर सकते हैं, लेकिन हम ऐसे रास्ते पर चल सकते हैं जहां खुशी भी जितनी मिले उसे ले लेना चाहिए, उसे जीना चाहिए, भरपूर खुशी को जीना चाहिए। दुखों का अंत तो कुछ भी नहीं है। मात्र महिलाओं को ही नहीं बल्कि सभी से मैं कहना चाहूंगी, अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी की वो दो लाइन है कि आदमी को चाहिए वो कभी जड़ ना बने, इंसान को चाहिए वो कभी जड़ ना बने, एक सपना टूटे तो दूसरा गड़े। अगर उसका एक सपना टूटता है तो दूसरा रास्ता उसको अपने आप मिलता है और ये मैंने भली भांति अपने जीवन में देखा है। एक चीज जाती है, दूसरी चीज इतनी अच्छी उत्पन्न हो जाती है जो हमने सोचा भी नहीं था। आज अगर मैं स्कूल बनाना चाह रही हूँ तो आज मैं बैंक बना गई। आज मेरे साथ जो दुर्घटनाएं हुई तो मेरे साथ लोग जुड़ते गए। तो कोई भी सपना जो है वो ऐसा नहीं है कि जो टूटे, अगर हम कुछ खो देंगे तो कुछ हमको मिलेगा भी। मैं यही कहना चाहती सब महिलाओं से कि नारी शक्ति।
Beautifully she explained her own thoughts. She says women should know about their power. They must recognize their power and they must know their power. They are not weak. They are not someone who can be pushed around. And there is no work which is small or big. It is a question of putting your mind and soul to it, and you can do it, and you will succeed in whatever tasks you take up. And success will touch your feet if you put your mind and soul to it. And there are sad times, there are negative portions in life, and they cannot be at times shifted. But then you must choose the path for growth and happiness. And then she quoted a quote, a poem, a short poem from one of our earlier prime ministers, who is no longer with us now, Honorable Prime Minister, late Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, where she talked about again the same essence of life which she gave in her message. So I thought I'll just brief that, and I now go to CC Kohli to kindly give her perspective of what will be her message.
Yes, thank you. So according to the World Economic Forum, the proportion of women in executive roles globally has stuck at 24% for more than a decade. In the United States, 1 in 5 women are C-suite leaders, and 1 in 25 C-suite leaders, which are women in the executive capacity, are women of color. Women account for 45% of the S&P 500 labor force, but represent only 1 in 4 executive level positions. And so that means that we have a lot of work to do. So my message is, let's write your vision. Let's move the tadpole. Women have the courage, the will, the tenacity, the skill to really change this world. Write your vision. My message is, I'm going to give you 6 tips, okay? 1 is write your vision and make it plain. Number 2 is be confident and act accordingly. Be confident in your vision. Write it down, look at it every single day, and just have confidence. It doesn't matter what it looks like when you start out, but just be confident and put your faith and put work towards your goal, and you will accomplish that goal. And just act accordingly every single day. Collaborate with like-minded women. And if your vision does not scare you, then it's not big enough. The women that you collaborate with, they have to be not on your level, but they have to be at a level that you aspire to be. Bring your own chair to the table and bring your ideas with you. Sometimes we're always looking for someone to give us a seat at the table. Be assertive. If you find a platform that you're interested in, just go for it. Bring your own chair there, sit down, have those conversations. Go to untraditional methods, utilize untraditional methods and approaches to attain your goal. Number 5, have tenacity. One of my favorite leaders and one of the persons that I most admire, Ching-Yi Chu, she said, to succeed in today's world, you have to have the will and tenacity to finish your job. So that's my tip number 5. Number 6, volunteer. Get connected in the community at the grassroots level. Learn how to be a servant leader. Lead from the bottom up, and together we'll have great successes. So that's my message for women, to lead a more prosperous and equitable life. And the other tip I would give to the other half, to our other half of our agenda, I would like men to be a he for she, when men to partner with us to help us build this, this network and help us really work within the framework of creating the world where there's equality, achieving 50-50 by 2030. And so those are my 6 tips for women. Those are my jewels of wisdom. Let's change the world, one woman, one girl at a time.
Thank you. It's such a beautiful message which all of you have given actually. As a proportion of share, I would say I have 4 women in my life. I have my mother, I have my sister, I have my wife, and I have a niece. I have only 1 son and 1 father and 1 brother. So the proportion of men as against women in my life personally are more women than men. So I can tell you on the board here, with 4 women on my board, you can imagine they are much stronger than all the other 3 men who are there on my side. That I will tell you is something which is very strong. And most families in India, although there are unfortunate incidences, but most families in India, the women is a very controlling factor. Alka ji can vouch for it. But anything which happens in any family, the women is actually the controlling factor in large part of India, which I have seen across the board within the country. I cannot say that for every country, but at least in India, I have seen that. But there are, as I said, some sad incidences which are unfortunate. I will open the house for questions, and I would request anyone who wants to ask a question. I see there are 2-3 people who raised hands. I will call for them. But before I call for them, I wanted to, since we cannot distribute the certificates, physically here, I thought I would like to distribute them virtually and then go from there on. Just give me a second. Let me just find where I have here. Just a second. So first, I would like to, as I said, I would like to recognize our honorable members here. So we have the first guest today, Catalina Sisipoli, as a woman of the 21st century towards servicing humanity, women empowerment, and inducing positivity, growth, and development. That's our message, which I feel connects all of you together, irrespective of the field where you function in. So I thought you will recognize this. In any case, I will be sending you in another half an hour. It will be there with you through WhatsApp and through Messenger, and then by email by tomorrow morning. The second person, as I said, was honorable guest from Gwalior in India, is Mrs. Alka Shrivastava. I will like to recognize and honor her with the certification from the Institute, recognizing again her contribution as the woman of the 21st century for her contributions, and as we have learned in this journey in the last an hour 15 minutes. And lastly, as you can see, all these 3 women are very powerful, strong women. I am very happy that the board chose from amongst my suggestions and others, these 3 women to be our guests and to recognize them. I have Ms. Catalina Kozeli from Hungary to recognize as the women of the 21st century. With this, I would like to tell all the 3 women that their journey has just begun, because you are now part of the IIF family, and you are now part of us. As a result, we will be taking your assistance, guidance, and structuring you as part of the body which we want to set up in terms of contributing and what we can do for women as an educational institution, and try to bring in more people into the framework from around the world, not only from one category or one segment only. So you are going to be troubled more going forward, and we look forward for your support, as you are our member of the family of the Indian Institute of Finance from now on, after this recognition is being posed on you. I remember when I was being honored in Centennial of Brotherhood in Bordeaux, I signed a register, which we can't do here, but there I was told that not only you, but this title which they entitled me with will go on for centuries for my family, one after the other. And so as I said, you are now part of this family called IIF. Now I look forward to open the house for questions. If there are questions, I would be happy to welcome. I did see certain hands up, and I would like to bring them up if they're still around. Let me just see. I saw Vijay Khareji who wanted to ask. Mr. Khare, if you can kindly start your video, introduce yourself, and maybe ask a question. Kindly start your video as well, sir. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity, Professor Aman, and I am fortunate to hear this. And just to give a quick background about me, I am working in L&T Finance currently, and I have been an IIM Ahmedabad pass out 2004. And while I have heard Alka-ji, Caitlin, and Cici, and the stories are really inspiring, but I have been following Alkaji's stories since very long. So I have questions, few of them, and some observations related to Alkaji's life and her progression and her acumen and her financial acumen. While all of us talk in English today, but I hope I talk a good Hindi, talking to Alkaji and asking questions with Alkaji in the way and in the level of Hindi she is able to speak. Kindly give me an opportunity. So
Please.
The thing that I observe is that, she has had a struggle in her life. She established a bank. And today I've been following, I'm heading market intelligence unit in L&T Finance. I have seen industry research in Kotak and in IDFC, and I have seen economy a lot. And the kind of products that she comes with, like I specifically remember, she used to come up with products for giving sewing machines to women. And now a very signature project called as Virangana, in which she financed vehicles for women who would come up and open taxis and all. So today, in a city of Gwalior, which was really dreaded maybe 20, 30, 40 years back, today we see women, owning and working on taxis. How is she able to, come up with such products, come up with such grassroots understandings? I've seen, I've worked, I was lucky to work with Professor Anil Gupta in IIM Ahmedabad and looked at a lot of grassroots innovations done by many men and women across India. I tried helping them with their patents and all as well. But today, when I see this business acumen, so it's not just about women empowerment. It's about coming up with the right products at the right time. So how is she able to do all this? And the other thing, Professor Aman, I wanted to ask was, what is the gap that she feels, that today's society has, which can actually bridge the gap between a man and a woman? I have seen my batchmates excelling, wherein both husband and wife are working, and the wife supports the husband to take risk, or the husband supports the wife to take risk. So what is her message for the society, and how is she able to visualize these products?
I'll go to Alkaji first, and then I'll go to the other two members as well.
जी,
So,
मैं हिंदी में उनसे पूछना चाहूंगा और समझना चाहूंगा.
no problem.
जी.
मैंने बहुत अच्छा, मैं इस बात को मिस कर गई थी और बहुत बड़ी बात है. और जो तुमने ये पूछा, क्योंकि मैं ये बताना चाहूंगी कि मुझ में एक कुछ नया करने का एक अंदर गुबार आता रहता है. जब मैंने ये सोचा तो जो बहुत गरीब महिलाएं जो घूंघट में रहती थी और अपने घर के अंदर बंद थी, जिनके पति शराब पीते हैं और घर के अंदर रहते हैं, उनको निकलने नहीं देते हैं, उनको किसी तरीके से मेरे मन के अंदर एक बात आया कि मुझे उन्हें निकालना है और ऐसा कुछ काम करना है जो उनके लिए, उन लोगों के लिए, गरीब महिलाओं के लिए बहुत बड़ी उनकी उपलब्धि हो, अपॉर्चुनिटी हो, उनके परिवार माने और समाज देखे इस चीज को. तो ये शायद पूरे इंडिया में फर्स्ट टाइम था जो मैंने उनको कैसे सिखाया. बड़ा कठिन रास्ता है, उनको कैसे निकाला घर से, चुना. और मैंने उनको स्वयं जाकर के 5 बजे 4 बजे मॉर्निंग में उनको ले जाकर के गाड़ी ड्राइव करना सिखाया, खुद सिखाया. क्यों? क्योंकि उनके पति नहीं चाहते अगर मैं ऐसा करती कि कोई जेंट्स गाड़ी सिखा रहा है या कोई ड्राइवर गाड़ी सिखा रहा है, तो आज का समाज, आज का घर का पुरुष उस महिला को निकलने नहीं देता कि किस आदमी के साथ गाड़ी चलाना सीख रही है. इसलिए मुझे स्वयं रहना पड़ता था, स्वयं सिखाना पड़ता था, उनके साथ बैठना पड़ता था और उनको बहुत आत्म बल दिया. वो घबराती थी, मतलब मैं एक छोटी सी बात कहना चाहूंगी, समय नहीं है, कि एक महिला तो डरने लगी जब गाड़ी सीख गई, चलाने लगी, बाद में कहने लगी मुझे कुछ दिखाई देता है, गाड़ी टेढ़ी हो जाती है, गाड़ी ऐसे हो जाती है, मैं नहीं चलाऊंगी, मैंने। और 45 इयर्स की महिला थी, उसकी 4 बेटियां थी जो पढ़ाई कर रही थी। मैंने कहा नहीं, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होता, कोई चीज नहीं दिखाई देती। मैं स्वयं उसके साथ बैठी और बगल में बैठ के मैंने कहा गाड़ी चला, कहाँ गिरेगी, गिरेगी तो तुम भी गिरोगी तो मैं भी गिरूंगी। तो इस प्रकार से उनके अंदर एक हिम्मत भरी और उनको रोड पे निकाला। आगे मैं चलती थी अपनी गाड़ी लेके, पीछे वो सारी गाड़ियां शहर के अंदर लाइन में जाती थी और उनके अंदर इस तरीके से हिम्मत लाई, उनको गाड़ी चलाना सिखाया। आज बहुत अच्छी गाड़ियां ग्वालियर में चल रही हैं और ये बात उनके अंदर खास थी कि महिलाएं ही बैठेंगी उस गाड़ी में, पुरुष नहीं बैठेंगे। और वैन थी, जेंट्स नॉट अलाउड, मतलब सिर्फ लेडीज बैठेगी। और उनको सब सिखाया कि अगर कोई ऐसे हादसा हो जाए तो कैसे संघर्ष करना है, मिर्ची पाउडर उनको किस तरीके से उनको हिट करना है, कैसे उनको निकलना उस रास्ते से, उस चीज की भी ट्रेनिंग हमने दी। ड्राइविंग ट्रेनिंग भी हमने बाद में, चूंकि सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए था उनको, वो भी हमने कराई। कलेक्टर ने बहुत मदद की, प्रशासन ने बहुत मदद की, उनके परमिट उनके फ्री किए, उनको लाइसेंस उनको बहुत जल्दी, बिल्कुल एक विदिन 1 डे उनको लाइसेंस मिले। तो ये सब चीजें जब हुई, क्यों हुई? क्योंकि मेरे अंदर एक कुछ करने का कि ये सच्चाई का रास्ता है, ये एक महिलाओं के लिए बहुत बड़ा रास्ता है, इनके लिए होना चाहिए। प्रशासन पर मैंने दबाव बनाया और प्रशासन ने बहुत सहर्ष से कि अच्छा काम है, उन्होंने मेरा साथ दिया, सहयोग दिया। तो कहते हैं ना, एकला कोई नहीं होता, हम जब चलते हैं तो पीछे कारवां बनता जाता है और कारवां बनता है वो सक्सेस।
साधु, एक बहुत अच्छी चीज, अलाउ मी प्रोफेसर रामन फॉर अनदर 30 सेकेंड्स, एक बहुत अच्छी चीज जो मैंने देखी अलका जी, आदरणीय अलका जी, कि ये सिर्फ कहना चाहिए कि एक नारी शक्ति या नारी एम्पावरमेंट तक लिमिटेड नहीं है, तक सीमित नहीं है। आपने सही जगह ढूंढी और सही किस्म के प्रोडक्ट बनाए, तो ये एक रोल मॉडल है। इसलिए मैं इसे काफी समय से फॉलो कर रहा था कि देखिए आज एक ऐसा नहीं है कि हम सिर्फ ये बोलें कि हाँ ये होना चाहिए, वो होना चाहिए। आज हमारे सामने एक इकोनॉमिक मॉडल है, आज हमारे सामने एक व्यवस्था है जहाँ के हम किसी चीज के मोहताज नहीं हैं। हम एक व्यवस्था बना रहे हैं जिससे नारी अपने आप सशक्त हो रही है और कई जगह पर आगे बढ़ करके परिवारों को संवार रही है। आई वॉज फॉर्चुनेट इनफ, मैं भाग्यशाली था कि मुझे सेवा बैंक का भी मॉडल देखने मिला। उस समय मैंने देखा वो कैसे 1 रुपए 2 रुपए सेव करती थी आज से 20 साल पहले और किस तरह परिवार संवारती थी। लेकिन वो गुजरात था। आपने ग्वालियर जैसी जगह में जहां पर इतनी विकट समस्याएं हैं, वहां पर आपने ऐसे मॉडल्स बनाए, आपने ऐसे प्रोडक्ट्स बनाए, आपने ऐसी चीजें बनाई जो कि जिनको कि समझना भी बहुत मुश्किल है, करना तो बहुत दूर की बात है। तो मैं एक अंतिम सवाल आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा कि आज आप कहां पर गैप देखती हैं, आप कहां पर देखती हैं कि और गुंजाइश है जहां के महिलाएं इस सोसाइटी को और इस इकोनॉमिक एक आर्थिक दृष्टि से वो इस समाज को कैसे आगे ले जा सकती। मैं एक अर्थशास्त्री हूं तो इसलिए आर्थिक दृष्टिकोण मेरे मन में हमेशा आ जाता है और मैंने देखा है कि आपके प्रोडक्ट्स जो हैं, आपने जो चीजें सामने लाई हैं, उनके अंदर एक दृढ़ आर्थिक व्यवस्था निहित है। तो आप क्या देखती हैं कि कहां पर गैप है जिसे और भरा जा सकता है? धन्यवाद।
मैं गैप यही कहूंगी कि जो गैप है वो प्रशासन में है और हमारे देश में है। हमारे जो कार्यालय हैं, जो हमारे ऑफिसेज हैं, स्कीम्स बहुत हैं, बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट हैं, महिलाओं के लिए बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, लेकिन वहां से वो चीजें ना तो इतना प्रचार प्रसार हो पाता है। आता है मीडिया में, सब आता है, लेकिन मैं उसको बिल्कुल नहीं मानती कि प्रचार प्रसार उन तक है। बस वो ये वहां तो बस ये है कि ये इतने सारे प्रधानमंत्री योजना आई, इतने ये योजना आए, वो आए। तो ये गैप है कि उनको सिखाने के लिए प्रैक्टिकली जो कैंप लगना चाहिए, ये सिर्फ कागजों में है, प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है। ये प्रैक्टिकल होना चाहिए, ये कागजों में नहीं होना चाहिए। उनको मालूम होना चाहिए उनके अधिकार क्या है, उनका काम क्या है, उनका प्रोजेक्ट क्या है। ये नहीं कि पैसा तो बट गया, लेकिन वो किस चीज के लिए बटा, वो यूजेबल तो उनको डालना चाहिए, वो चीज नहीं डलती है। जो फैक्ट्रीज होना चाहिए वो काम नहीं होता है। पैसा उनके शराबी पति उनको खत्म कर देते हैं। पैसा मिलता है, सरकार से भी मिलता है, तो वो बीच के लोग खा जाते हैं। ये इन सब चीजों का कहीं ना कहीं जब तक हमारे देश के अंदर एक जागरूकता नहीं आएगी कि हमें कार्य को कार्य समझना है, हमें उसको बर्बाद नहीं करना है, तो ये चीजें जब तक नहीं आएंगी तब तक हमारी मशीनरी जो है वो जब तक ठीक नहीं होगी भारतवर्ष में और हम लोग में, तब तक ये संभव नहीं है। इसको पूरा होना चाहिए और काम करने में लोगों को कैंप और प्रचार प्रसार इन सब के द्वारा उनको एक रास्ता मिलना चाहिए और उनको हिम्मत देना चाहिए, ना कि घर में बिठालकर और उनको उनके पैसे को इधर उधर बर्बाद करके जो सरकार दे रही है, वो बीच के लोग प्रशासन के लोग भी बीच में उस पैसे को खत्म कर देते हैं। वो नहीं होना चाहिए। ये मेरी एक बहुत बड़ी बात है।
I would like to go to CC Kohli as well as
Thanks a lot. I would like to extend thanks to Professor Raman for giving me an opportunity to talk to respected Alka ji. Thanks a lot, and thanks a lot to Alka ji. उन्होंने मुझे समय दिया है जवाब देने का। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। I'm really grateful to you both.
I would also like CC Kohli to respond to this as to what he asked as a key question. You know, which is that what is that makes this creativity come in women in terms of modeling things, doing things, you know, new and creative things which are done by women, like all the three of you. Alka ji spoke of her portion. And the other thing which he asked was, how can you bridge that gap between the men and the women? How could we go about bridging that gap? Whatever that gap is, how could we reduce that further?
Yes, Dr. Mike, can you please say the first portion of the question again, please?
Question was the fact that, you know, the women are very creative. They build up new ideas, new structures. How does that creativity and the new thing come out of so much in women? And we have seen that happen quite often in all parts of the world. So what is that within the women that brings out that creativity, that new modeling, new structuring? And the second part was about diminishing the gap between men and women.
Yes, that's a very good question. I believe what really brings out the creativity with women is sharing the stories. Listening to Alka's and Caitlin's story today, everybody has a story, right? And so when we listen to the stories, Alka's stories of strength and determination and resilience, she talked about a very challenging time in her life by losing a loved one, but still she was able to find the strength to keep going forward, to pay it forward. Caitlin talked about when it wasn't a choice between, you know, being a girl or being a boy. You know, she was strong, just growing up that way. And so I think that the way we're going to continue to bridge that gap is to really just embrace the fact that that we can do it. And we can only really close that gap is when we actually bring men to the table to be our partners in this and going forward. After all, without women, men would not be here, right? And so I think that we start closing those gaps when we ask men to be part of, to be inclusive and helping us to close the gap for gender equality, gender parity. Let's examine what we feel gender roles are. Do we feel that women's place is only in the kitchen? Why isn't that girls can't go to school? And why is it that we have FGM, you know, that persists? And why do girls have to get married when there's 9 years old, you know, to a grown man that's 10, 20, and 30 years their senior? And so we can bridge the gap by getting rid of all of those cultural and societal norms that really hamper and stump the growth of young girls, to stop them from being educated. And therefore, there is no empowerment. Once a young girl is not educated, there's no perceived way for her to feel empowered. How do we bridge the gap? And that's by partnering with people, building alliances with institutions like the World Bank, where myself and Dr. Aman met, because they have initiatives and programs that's beneficial to all parts of society. And so until we really bring men and women to the table and build institutional frameworks and tools to close the gap, and we would never really reach the goal that we're trying to achieve. So it's really all of us, but adhering to the framework, the building sustainable solutions for the environment and for the economy, where we can actually move women from crises and poverty to independence and economic sustainabilities. And we can do it with partnership, bringing people from the private sector, the public sector, and government together, and building the opportunities and providing macro finances for us to get it done, because you cannot achieve those goals without having some type of finances. And so that's how we're going to bridge the gap.
Thank you, Cece. I'll now go to Kathleen for her last comments, and after that we'll close the session for today. Kathleen, if you can unmute yourself and also respond to the question.
Yeah, so I would say that creativity has no sex. So, you know, it's not about women finding out stuff or men finding out stuff. It's simply being creative and feeling free to, you know, feeling free to make mistakes, to guess, to brainstorm, to say stupid things. So that's the one thing. And bridging the gap, I would say, I think the most important would be for men not to fear women and not to fear strong women, because I think a lot of, you know, inequality comes from fear. So I think if people are not raised in fear or with some kind of fear or fear implanted into them, then the problem will cease, and the real problem will cease.
Thank you, Kathleen. And with that, I'd like to thank all my special guests who we have recognized today as the women of the 21st century. I would like to thank them for being part of now the family of the Indian Institute of Finance. I welcome you to our family, and thank you again. Jai Hind and Vande Mataram. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Cece, good night.
Thank you.
थैंक यू अमन जी, आपने मेरी हिंदी को ट्रांसलेट करके समय दिया और सबको बताया, मुझे अच्छा लगा, और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपको। इतना अच्छा प्रोग्राम, इतने अच्छे लोगों से आज मुलाकात हुई और काफ़ी अच्छा प्रोग्राम रहा, दिल से खुल के रहा, मतलब बहुत अच्छी बात है, और मैं आपको बहुत धन्यवाद देती हूँ। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Kathleen.
Yes, thank you, Indian Institute of Finance and Dr. Aman for this great opportunity. Congratulations, Alka and Catalin. Congratulations.
आप सब लोगों से बाहर से भी आप लोगों से हम आज मिले और बात हुई, इंटरेस्टिंग. I understand your story. I understand many Hungary as women's story. I understand, but I am not speak in to English. Continue. Okay, so sorry, that's you convenient. Okay, and very nice to meet. Thank you, Vinay. Thank you, Amanji. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Okay, Kathleen. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Okay. Namaskar, Jai Hind and Vande Mataram.